Hi everyone, we are honored to have Mr. Paul Pei to come to our interview today. Before we start, please remember to subscribe so you won't miss our exciting interviews. Hi Paul, thank you for coming to our show.
Good morning, Sydney.
I understand that you are now living with your daughters in Seattle. As we approach Father's Day, so we'll talk about your daughters later on, shall we?
Very good.
You are a marketing guru, a big successful portfolio to tell in Shangri-La. Many would remember your story in Ocean Park in such a competitive market. Paul, can you share how did you do it?
Sydney, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my story. The Ocean Park success story has many, many themes to it. Rather than focusing on the hardware and the new product, I really wanted to focus on the people. The people are the component made the park what it is. Without them, we'd never have achieved the goals. In the year 2000, when I joined, it was a small regional park in Hong Kong, not necessarily known by everyone around the world. Within those 15 years, we took this little park. It wasn't doing very well. Attendance was only about 3 million a year. We grew it to 7.5 million visitors. We took a park being considered to be closed because it was losing money. From there, instead of closing, not only did we survive, but we ultimately became one of the best parks in the world. It's not I who did it, it's we did it. And we did it for the park, for the people of Hong Kong, and certainly for our staff. Imagine that this was a park in the year 2000 that had lost money 4 years in a row. Attendance was struggling, it wasn't getting to survive. So the park was in a state of flux that was going the wrong way. It was going down instead of going up. In addition to that, Hong Kong had just announced the arrival of Hong Kong Disneyland. Not only was it not doing well, it was going to face a new giant. But Disneyland is perhaps the best theme park in the entire world. No one really beats Disneyland. And Disney is also the best marketing company in the world. It's very difficult for a small little regional park like us to go up against.
Almost like a David and Goliath story.
It really was a David Goliath. And so when you talk about adversity, in the early days of 2000, most people in Hong Kong did not believe that Ocean Park could survive. When Disneyland arrived, it was going to swallow up Ocean Park. Shortly after I arrived at the park, I got into a taxi to go to a meeting in Central, and I had a lanyard with my name tag on it. The taxi driver saw my name tag, and he looked back at me and he said, "Oh, you work at Ocean Park." I sat up very straight and very proud, and I said, "Yes, I do." And his remark to me was, "Where are you going to work next week?" Really, the sentiment of so many people in Hong Kong who didn't believe that this little park could survive with Mickey coming to town. Now, of all the people that didn't believe in the park, everybody at the park believed in the park. So our staff, and at that time there were only really 600 some employees, they never faltered. They never looked back. They didn't want to believe that the park was going to close. They were equally as devoted to the park as they ever have been. And there were people that started working there since 1977 when the park first opened. So the employees were everything to us. I participated in the sales and the marketing of the park, but they were the ones that really made us what we became. So when I got to the park, I did my situation analysis, not by reading reports. There were lots of reports to read, but the reports were all in red. So I didn't want to read about red numbers. In 3 days, I stood out in the park under a tree, listening to what people were saying about the park. The park is old and tired. There's nothing new there. I have no reason to go. There's no fun there, and my friends don't go. Once the situation analysis was done, it was very easy to see what we had to do. The park had to change all of that. We had to instill fun. We had to make it new. We had to make it fresh. We had to give people a reason to come to the park, to buy a ticket, and make sure that their friends would also go to Ocean Park. And this was the challenge that was posed to us. The first thing we did was to talk to the staff, talk to the people, and say, "Look, folks, this is the situation we're in, and what are we going to do about it?" It was wonderful to see, refreshing to see the response from the people. None of them wanted to see this place closed. They believed that the park could survive with leadership and with doing things maybe perhaps differently than what had been done. The staff were dedicated, they were devoted, and showed a certain amount of passion for what they did, for the jobs that they did. And again, no matter what role they played, they showed tremendous passion. They smiled in spite of facing Mickey Mouse, who is looming over them.
It almost reminded me about
A story. President Kennedy went to NASA and asked a janitor, "What are you doing?" And he answered, "His purpose."
Amazing. And the NASA story that you tell is very true. I mean, everybody at the park believed in one thing. They wanted to provide the right service so that people would have a good time. Our goal was to continue to inspire these folks, show them what was ahead, to tell them that, there is a future. Staff of any business, of any company, they want to believe one thing. They want to believe that they are part of the solution, that they are not the part of the problem. We tell them was to keep them in the loop, to continue to communicate them directly, to say, you and I are working together. I have a different title, you have a different title, but the bottom line is we do the same thing. We want to give somebody a good experience in the park. Words like that and was the inspiration that we as leaders provided to them. And they believed it. Every day they believed in what we did. I think the leadership there was in the park with them. We did what they did. I mean, one of the things that people used to laugh at me and Tom Merriman and all of our folks was we went around picking up rubbish because this is my home. This is my park. So they saw us doing, and I think that helped very much with the inspiration that we would never ask them to do something we wouldn't do ourselves. We were transparent, that there was never a time when they didn't know what we were doing or what was ahead for us. We had these quarterly meetings. Every quarter, we would get the staff together in an assembly and talk to them about this is what we did, this is our performance, and this is where we're heading, and this is how we're going to get there. When the staff went home at the end of the day, they knew that tomorrow we were going to do this in order to get to the ultimate goal. I think the communication was vital to make sure that the staff believed they were all a part of our deal. When I arrived at the park, I had 3 goals. The first goal I had was to get rid of the red. Again, we were losing money. We had to get out of the red because when you're in the red, people have no confidence in you. People don't talk to you. It's brutal. The business world is brutal. So we had to make some money in order to keep the park going. The second goal I had was once we were able to get into the black, we had to gain some confidence. People had no confidence in us, internally or externally. And so we had to make sure that we're going out to tell the public, hey, listen, we're not going to fold. We're not going to close. We're going to, in fact, improve. The third goal was once we started to make some money, we had to redevelop the park. I mean, the situation analysis told us we were old and tired. We needed to be new and fresh. So we needed money in order to do that, to redo the park and to revamp the park. Those 3 goals was written on a piece of paper that I saved for 15 years in the bottom drawer of my desk. And it was still there the day I retired and the day I left the park. And those were the 3 guiding principles for me. As an individual, but I believe they were the goals of the park. The park had to do these 3 things in order to survive. For the sales and marketing side, the first question I asked, how come we don't have a character? We've got to develop ourselves a character. And literally looked at all the animals we had in the park that was under our care. And we settled on a sea lion. A sea lion never stops smiling. He's also always waving. He's got a flipper that's always waving, which means he was welcoming. He made a sound that was welcoming. He barks, and that calls people in. So we said, okay, that's going to be our mascot. So I worked with a consultant in Los Angeles, and we developed Whiskers. Now, Whiskers came about to develop a fresh logo, to help us with a new branding, to help us with a new image. Whiskers was going to help us tell the story. Once he was successful in print, in advertising, in promotion, he became a walk-around character. We brought him with us for sales trips. He helped us in our promotion work. He helped us everywhere.
A face to Ocean Park.
Exactly. We actually put a face. We put a meaning. We put an image to what the park represented. The other example I wanted to bring out was in developing the product and trying to rejuvenate the park. We had an area where people walked to get to the cable car terminal. They had to walk through this path of nothing. So we wanted to develop that area and make it a pleasure, an experience to walk through. And we did this in-house. It was really the support of our resident architect. His creativity helped us develop. We wanted to give credit to Hong Kong as a destination. We wanted to give credit to the people that helped Hong Kong grow. Not only Ocean Park, but the people of Hong Kong that helped build Hong Kong and continue today to build Hong Kong, to make Hong Kong stronger and make Hong Kong better. And so we thought one way to do it is dedicate an area to Hong Kong. And thus we came up with the idea of developing an old Hong Kong, bringing back some of the memories of Hong Kong of the 50s and the 60s. Not necessarily to say that old Hong Kong was better than new Hong Kong, but we wanted to say that this was the evolving. This was how Hong Kong evolved from a time when, bell-bottom pants and rickshaws and what have you, to where we are today with MTR and with, cell phones and all of this. It helped us not only improve the walking experience to get to the cable car, but it gave us an opportunity to really recognize and salute Hong Kong. I don't think anyone would have dreamed that little tiny Ocean Park, up against the professional good competitor like Disneyland, could ever gain the recognition of being one of the best in the world. In the year 2012, Ocean Park was awarded the Applause Award, which in our industry, in the attractions industry, is what the Oscars means to Hollywood. The preeminent recognition by over 6,000 members in an association called IAPA that you are one of the best. There was one more award that I can share with you. It was a Meritorious Service Award that I received in 2015, but it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the fact that Ocean Park had someone that was able to be recognized for his contribution to the park and his contribution to the industry as a whole. The Applause Award, it wasn't only for Ocean Park, but it really was for the people of Hong Kong, because people of Hong Kong that made Ocean Park what it is. I always hoped that the people of Hong Kong would be proud of their park.
Hi Paul, now you are an advisor to theme parks based in Seattle, and you want to develop future leaders?
Sid, I have been a believer in staff for all my life. My role today as a consultant with my advisory role, I focus on sales and marketing because that's where my strength lies. But what I want to do is really to help develop future leaders in theme parks. Hardware is very simple. If you have money, you can buy whatever you need to buy. Software is more difficult. Software will drive hardware. Develop your people, believe in your people, trust in your people, and have them trust you and have them believe in you. So that's a little bit of advice that I would give new parks, if you may.
Giving some advice to our viewer, especially the younger people.
I'm very fortunate to get invited by various universities to speak to students. As a matter of fact, I just gave a presentation to a group at the Baptist University. I also spoke to Hong Kong Poly U and Chinese U and City U. One of the things that I want to tell the young people is, our young people, they all want to become lawyers and doctors and professional people. Well, we are equally as professional, either as salespeople or as theme park employees. And so we're trying to encourage the young, have an interest in tourism, have an interest in hospitality, have an interest of service, seek a career that you're going to be able to develop a passion for. I've been in hospitality for over 40 years. If I was to do it again, I'd do the very same thing because I enjoy being of service to folks and I enjoy building business. So I would encourage the young people to look for a profession that they would enjoy being a part of. Look for a profession where they can develop a sense of pride in what they do. Think about tourism, because tourism is important. It's a vital part of any country, any city. Food and beverage needs tourism. Retail needs tourism. Hotels need tourism. Airlines need tourism. I hope they join me and join you and join all of us in developing a career in tourism and hospitality.
Hey, we talked about Happy Father's Day earlier on. You are the proud father of two daughters. Did they join tourism though?
My two girls, I love them dearly, Melissa and Christina. They unfortunately did not join tourism. My older daughter is a physical therapist. She has been in practice since 2006. She specializes in Parkinson's disease and neurotraumatic patients, and she's doing a wonderful job helping people overcome their disabilities as a result. My younger daughter she's actually in marketing, but she's involved in a very large insurance company. So while they are not in tourism, they are both involved in a service. And again, every business is service related. We have 3 grandchildren, and they're all boys. They all drive me crazy. But it's so much fun. And to all your viewers and all your listeners in Tainan, in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, and in Southeast Asia and Malaysia, I'm delighted to have this opportunity to share some thoughts and share some stories. And I wish everybody tremendous luck. And certainly to you, Sydney, because I know you're doing a great job with these interviews and these broadcasts.
Thank you. So I look forward to welcoming you to Thailand one of these days.
I hope so. Good luck to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, subscribe and like. See you next time. God bless you.